Comedian George Carlon once brilliantly observed the content of a very strange rabbit hole. He said, "The whole meaning of life, isn't it about trying to find your stuff, a place for your stuff? That's what your house is, a pile of stuff with a lid on it. A place for your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. And then, when you have too much stuff, well, maybe you gotta put your stuff in storage." Imagine that. There's a whole industry based on keeping an eye on your stuff. How much is enough? We're either dragged down by excess or we're free from excess. Does this affect you? Well, think big. McMansions, consumerism are normal, right? We have closets full of stuff and nothing to wear. The storage spaces we have are full of stuff that we don't use, not to mention the landfills. I've helped hundreds of people with storage solutions. I've also spent many years focused on minimalism. I'm going to present some of my own ideas and the ideas of others, practical ideas about too much stuff and how to avoid being enslaved by it. We're going to talk about the cost of too much stuff and the value of minimalism. The reality is that too much stuff is robbing our time, our energy, money, relationships, our health, our happiness, and the planet. We're going to look at 5 ideas that can help. We're going to use the word SMART, the letters of the word SMART, as an acronym to help us with 5 key ideas about too much stuff and minimalism. We're going to talk about simplicity, mobility, assets, responsibility, and time. S-M-A-R-T, SMART. S, remember, simplicity. Simplify and focus on the right stuff. Joshua Becker, the founder of Becoming Minimalist, says, "There are greater pursuits available to us than excess, but they can be difficult to discover when our energies are being directed at the wrong stuff." He also quoted Jim Carrey, who said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and have everything they ever dreamed of so that they can see that that's not the answer." He who dies with all the toys and tools is not the winner. I walked through my grandmother's house after her funeral, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. She took absolutely nothing with her. What would you do if you had less stuff to worry about? M, remember mobility. Put mobility first so that you can answer the call of life and God when they call. Jess of Minimize With Me says, "When you consume excessively, you rob yourself of future opportunities." And the Lord himself simply put it, that the things of this world are to be used with judgment, not to excess. Ask yourself, what is lack of mobility costing me right now? A, remember assets. Assets are only assets if you have them. Stuart Wilde once said, "The trick to money is having some." Now that isn't just about making more money, that's also about not spending what you already have unnecessarily. Christopher Murray of Money Under 30 says, "Minimalism is all about living with less. This includes less financial burdens such as debt and unnecessary expenses." The irony is that reducing expenses actually lets you relax and live more. Do this first, and then increase your income to the level that makes sense. And voila, financial problems begin to fade. R, remember responsibility. Be responsible, but not too much. We want to be responsible to ourselves, to others, the earth, to God. We want to be self-reliant or self-responsible rather than dependent. Too much stuff is simply irresponsible. Self-reliance becomes so much easier with less stuff. Being responsible for too much stuff can truly weigh us down unnecessarily. Imagine what you might already be paying for that you don't really need. Joshua Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, founders of The Minimalist, who've helped over 20 million people live with less and have better lives, say minimalism is a tool that can assist you in finding freedom. Freedom from fear, worry, overwhelm, guilt, depression. Freedom from the trappings of the consumer culture. Real freedom. Out of all the solutions, storage solutions that I've helped others with, and a lot of thinking and research and personal effort around my own house, I have come to realize that it isn't even about organizing your stuff better. The trick is to let it go. One of the most liberating and cathartic things my wife and I ever did was getting rid of almost all our stuff. It gave us freedom to move when and where the Lord directed, which really mattered to us, and still does to this day. What would you do if you were responsible for managing less stuff? T. Remember time. Time is your most precious currency. We live in a world where it's super easy to never unplug. Antimaximalist.com suggests, don't spend so much time browsing social media or watching Netflix. The more you avoid it, the more you realize you're not really missing out. Sit down with a friend. Get more of that human interaction. Ask yourself, how much time can I never get back for the things I love most because I spent time on social media? So there you have 5 smart keys to the benefits of minimalism. Simplicity. Avoid spending energy on the wrong things. Mobility. Be free when life and God call. Assets. Be smart with resources and means. Responsibility. Be responsible but not too much. Time, your most precious currency. Spend it well. My goal today has been to inspire you, even persuade you that there is more freedom and value in having and managing less. Every day, more people are discovering the benefit of knowing how much is enough. Just YouTube minimalism and begin. Imagine that the Jabberwocky that Alice encountered down the rabbit hole is too much stuff. My invitation is to raise your sword and cry out, "Off with your head." Thank you.